This series has always had some form of Yuri undertone since the first season. I've seen a lot of conversations between fans of Selector Infected with Cross and fans of Selector Spread with Cross. I've seen so many fans talk about just random couples like Ruko and Tama, or Iona and Ruko, stuff like that. I've just seen a lot of shipping wars between the fans of this series about Yuri couples. And with this episode, the second episode of Selector Spread with Cross, we get Yuri. Now, there's no way you can deny the slight Yuri undertones in this episode. There was straight out, like, whoa! And you got Yuri between two characters that you would never expect. Like, out of all the characters in this series, out of every single individual character, the two characters I never expect to have some form of Yuri couple shipping was Urif and Akira. I never expected that. I want to be honest. I never fucking expected that. Now, I want to say right now, Urif, I think, is playing Akira. I really think she is, because the entire way she acts in this episode, and the way the information she gives us, just does not add up to the certain things that we know about from this series. For one thing, Urif is LRG. We knew she was LRG for Iona. And as we know, all LRGs were once humans. So, of course, you know, Urif was once a human, but I mean, how long ago was that? The only way possible she could know about Akira when, you know, Iona came into the picture and started stealing her glory and spotlight was if she was still a human before she got turned into a card. So that's the only way, I guess, Urif could possibly admire Akira if she was admiring her like a stalker. Besides that, it just doesn't add up, because overall, from what we could see is, Urif only cherishes Akira for her rage, her anger towards Iona, and her, like, darker self, like her angry, mean self. So, truthfully, I personally believe that Urif is manipulating Akira for her own ends. That's exactly what I want to say, and especially with the ending of this episode, with Shiori, Urif comes in and gives this evil freaking smile at the end of the episode, and I'm like, yeah, she's definitely going to use Shiori for some reason. I mean, clearly she has her own goals. She does, and I'm guessing whatever she's trying to do, she's probably trying to find another LRG where she can play with Cross again. I don't know. But with this episode, there's a lot of different things going on in this episode, and there's a lot of setup for Akira's character. For instance, the main focus of this episode of Selector Spread with Cross is Akira. We get to see the hardship she's gone through since her entire bit of losing 3 games and being cursed and her wish was tainted. For instance, we see how the scar on her face is all over her face, and I remember last week when I did my review, a bunch of Chibi were talking about, okay, what happened to her scar? Why is her scar gone? With this episode, it's revealed that Akira has to use makeup to cover the scar. Damn, makeup, you fucking scary, as always. Pretty much, though, she has to use makeup to cover the scar. And as she states in this episode, she doesn't want to go around her entire life covering the scar up for the rest of her life, hiding it from everybody, and that's why she's playing with Cross once again, and why she has a new LRG. Speaking of her new LRG, it's a blue type LRG, so yeah. Wonder exactly what type of powers it's going to have, but either way, the big thing is, Akira is being incredibly stupid at this moment. She shouldn't even be trying to play with Cross after the shit that happened to her. I mean, she's lucky as it is to get off like she's done right now. I mean, yes, she has a fucking scar on her face, but it could be so much worse. It could be so much fucking worse for her. Seriously, it could. I mean, I'd rather have a permanent scar on my face than be turned into a LRG, stuck in a card, and trapped in there forever. She's just being incredibly fucking stupid for doing something like that. Yes, she's wanting to impress Urif and just try to get on her good side. You can definitely see how Akira's fallen into her trap, but still, yeah, she's just being incredibly dumb. Oh yes, with her entire attitude, we can definitely tell that Akira has changed her personality. How she used to be Aki-Lucky, now she's Aki-Lovely, and I'm like, Aki-Lovely is not lovely at all, and personally, and out of both bitchons, I prefer Aki-Lucky, because she at the very least was a believable, mean freaking girl, okay? With this, she's just following in the pace of Urif and doing what she says. So, this episode, for the most part, is a very good episode. And like I said, it's just mainly there to show us what happened to Akira, what trouble she's been through, and how Urif is trying to make her life a lot better, giving her makeup, trying to make her feel safe and comfortable, and as I said, Urif is definitely using her. So we'll have to see what goes on after this, and the other thing is, I want to mention before I end this review, Shiori. She clearly does not understand how bad it is to lose, or how bad it is to get your wish granted as a Selector. She doesn't, clearly. I mean, she thinks it's fine that she's going to be inside of a card, but she just does not realize the implications of how miserable that must be, stuck in a fucking card where you can't escape, can't talk to no one besides your Selector, and at the exact same time, you're forced to battle. I mean, she clearly doesn't understand the ramifications from her being turned into a card. So yeah, I think eventually we're going to see some character development with Chiori, and she might actually learn how bad it is to lose, because I mean, from all the times we have seen her in the series with the different episodes, I mean, she's always talking about, like, it's okay if I lose, oh, I'll explode if I lose 7 games, and stuff like that, or how you'll get turned into an LRG, and just different things like that. Pretty much, she seems to not give a shit. But, I mean, it's like a naive child. You won't know until it actually happens. You won't know really how it feels. So, I think she will have that happen to her in this season, and she'll probably have her entire personality and attitude changed towards the rest of the series after that. Overall, love the episode. Give it a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Wonderful episode. I cannot wait for next week's episode because Selector Spread Across is really freaking good. Deserves a lot more popularity, and I love the freaking music. Oh yes, I want to talk about one more thing. I didn't talk about it much last week about the opening song. Well, in the opening song, we see clearly Iona turning into this dark, freaking evil mask. Like, she goes evil looking, she wraps herself around Ruko in the opening song, and you see like how she's trying to change her. So that was really creepy. I forgot to mention that last week. And also there's a couple of new girls in the opening song, so we'll have to see exactly what they do. But tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite moments about it? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.